Hello, my name is Colin Campbell. I'm with Polygon. This week sees the launch of Forza Motorsport 6 for the Xbox One. It's part of a long-running series of racing games that actually goes back 10 years. The original Forza launched in 2005, here it is, for the original Xbox, and at the time it was seen as a showcase for that piece of hardware which was actually coming to the end of its life. And it's interesting that these driving games have always presented themselves as being sort of state-of-the-art of video game consoles. And so it's interesting to take a look at how Forza looked in its Rio racetrack 10 years ago and how it looks on the same racetrack today. I mean, obviously you can see a lot of differences in terms of the way that the cars drive, the way that they look, the way that the surroundings look most notably, and also the tiny little details on the cars. I spoke to Dan Greenwald at Developer Turn 10, he's the creative director, on the telephone recently, and he talked about how the game has changed over the past 10 years.
In the original Forza Motorsport, the cars looked great for their time, but they were simplistic. And they could afford to be simplistic for a few reasons. One, that's just how games looked back then, and so people were used to it. Two, people weren't playing on HD screens nearly as frequently, and so detail would kind of get lost in the mud that was the smaller number of pixels. Now, even the way they moved was more simplistic. The physics engine wasn't as complex. But the thing that's changed the most is because of the high resolution of most gamers' TVs, and this game running at a native 1080p and solid 60 frames when you're on track, we really needed things to pop graphically, to have really high detail. And that's where physically based materials came into play. So you see a lot of action on the paint and on scratched rotors and on wheels and leather versus upholstery versus Alcantara. All of these things reflect and refract light in different ways, and the physically based material system in the Forza Tech engine really showcases that on a 1080p display. Games have changed radically in how they're made in the last 10 years. The game itself, just physically on disk, is so many more gigs of data. So Forza Motorsport, the original, I'm guessing it had 50, maybe 100 people total that touched it, and that's people coming in and helping out here and there. The core team was about 24. Well, now with Forza Motorsport 6, we have about 500 people working on Forza at any one time, people jumping in and out. Core team is, there's about 250 people in this building alone. But we've got the Playground team that makes Forza Horizon 2, and they work on the Forza Tech engine as well. So we've just got so many people working on this, it requires tremendous agility to move this group of people around, keep them focused and passionate and excited about the players, while still being specialized and doing world-class work. It's a major revolution in how things are made.